India has been given a title of suicide capital. Mental health has become a problem of multifarious dimensional factor. I am glad today that National Task Force is giving direction to all university. What is your setup on preventive mental health care?
We should just work upon it daily rather than getting a direction from Supreme Court.
Integrative model of mental health work at university and at schools. अगर teacher or parents handhold करे and make a partnership to take care of that student, I think sky is the limit if you ask.
5,000 years ago, we had our very first counseling session, and that was between Shri Krishna and Arjun.
Preventive mental health setup करना निहायत जरूरी. अगर system structures visible होना चाहिए.
There are some non-verbal cues, there are some micro expressions which you actually
How
go
will you
through.
do that?
Hello everyone, welcome to SGT Pulse, your daily dose of what's now and what's next. I'm your host, Dr. Prerna, and today we're going to talk about the landmark judgment by Supreme Court under the guidance and supervision of Justice Sri Ravindra Bhatt. Today, to enlighten us on the topic, we have our very own Pro Vice Chancellor, ma'am, Professor Dr. Abha Singh. Welcome, ma'am. And today we are going to share and talk about, and we want your guidance regarding this national task force, which has been directed by Justice Ravindra Bhatt. So, could you just brief us about what is this landmark judgment and what's more about it? So, if you could just brief us.
All my friends and people who will watch on digital space, this landmark judgment on the case of Sukhdev Saha versus Andhra Pradesh state is actually an eye-opener for all of us in education institutions and universities. And it is unbelievable that now we are getting directives from Supreme Court of India for mental health.
And
Don't you
ma'am,
think that it
yes,
is strange?
it is because it's such a basic thing that we should just work upon it daily rather than getting a direction from Supreme Court. This came as a shocker to me. But ma'am, ये समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि what mental health is and why Supreme Court has to direct to educational institutions and Ministry of Education has to get into the picture just to assign this national task force. तो क्यों ये ज़रूरी है?
So we need to understand when there is establishment directed by Supreme Court of India on National Task Force, name itself gives indication that we have to take action now. Yeah, we have to take action because till now, if you see the institutions like schools, colleges, universities, coaching centers, and when we see the data of suicides between 18 to 25 age group, it's alarming. India has been given a title of suicide capital. So, what action we are taking at the level of school, college, university, and even at home at parental level as well, I would say.
मैम जैसे पेरेंट्स के बाद हम लोग फर्स्ट स्टिमुलस हैं स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, हम सेकंड नंबर पे काइंड ऑफ आते हैं आफ्टर पेरेंट्स, एंड आफ्टर दोज पेरेंट्स वी आर देयर एजुकेटर्स एंड पेरेंट्स हु गाइड देम, शेप देम. सो एज एजुकेटर्स हम क्या रोल प्ले कर सकते हैं इसमें? हाउ डू यू री इमेजिन द कैंपस एंड फ्रॉम क्राइसिस टू केयर, हाउ डू यू री इमेजिन दिस?
See, before reimagining, we need to see and visualize. If I ask you as a faculty how you are conducting mental health work at your university or at our university, at different university, You must have seen how it happens. One person, I think, appointed for a whole university as a psychologist to do a mental health work. Is it possible? But this is how it is happening, even school, colleges. But that is why this task force has been directed to guide us and monitor us on mental health level of our students and as a whole university. Not only student but also faculty. A healthy and happy person can create a healthy and happy person. It goes like
True,
that,
true, true. You can
whether
only pour from a full
yeah,
glass
whether
full.
you are in the position of parent or a faculty or administrator, it goes same for everyone. If you're mentally healthy, we are all mentally healthy, we will see people mentally healthy in front of us. But first, we need to ask questions how to assess that, how to understand the deep rooted problem which is there in education, education institutions, universities, how to, there's a tremendous pressure as per the research we find in academicians,
Right.
faculties. What we are doing for that? You know,
Right. This start at the very basic
basic
level.
level.
For
And
example, when we are in the class in itself, तो हम वो चीजें notice करें कि कौन सा student है who's maybe a little depressive about
true.
situations.
So when you are in the class as a faculty, it's not a job of faculty to teach only. We all are teacher, but if everyone is a teacher, first is a psychologist. You understand your class better than anybody else.
True.
You have a 60 student, 40 student, 30 student, you know your class. And if some students they need help, how would you provide it? It's not only mental, there are some academic issues, there are some issues which is related to student, maybe the program, maybe the related hostel, maybe the n number. So this is not limited to mental health. What is happening now, mental health has become a problem of multifarious dimensional factor. It's not one factor.
Right.
So how will you understand that where the trigger is coming from? It's very difficult and very complex.
Right.
So what Supreme Court has directed us on National Task Force, that mission, that we need to have particular kind of understanding first in the whole university setup, that how we are dealing with student mental health. First, we were only thinking of taking care of student mental health from the side of clinical side, which I think I'm very happy, if you ask me as a psychologist, that my mission has always been like that, preventive mental health care. I'm glad today that National Task Force is giving direction to all university. What is your setup on preventive mental health care?
And now it has become a compulsion.
Compulsion, mandatory, we all have to do it. So when we talk about mental health, there are two levels which we need to take care. First is preventive and then is curative.
Correct.
So what happened in past, which we see, we only were working on curative.
Right.
Problem हो गया, उसकी solution ढूंढे.
जी.
बट प्रॉब्लम होने से पहले क्या कर सकते हैं? व्हाट इज द स्टेप, प्रोएक्टिव स्टेप वी कैन टेक?
मैम मुझे लगता है कि सिर्फ हम उतना प्रोएक्टिव नहीं, हम उतनी छोटी चीजों से भी नोटिस कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, if somebody used to wear very bright clothes, now this person suddenly starts wearing dull clothes. Maybe there is lack of makeup now because they used to carry accessories or something, and now there is withdrawal of something. So I think this starts at such a basic level that we notice कि अरे क्या हो गया है. We could
Yeah.
ask our students.
So what happens? Some understanding of behavioral indicators for a faculty member at university level is important. Everybody is not a psychology faculty. Even if you ask me, psychology faculty also forgets,
Right.
because your job is to teach and do all research. So you get focused, so much focused in your job that you forget other aspect of life. It happens with everybody. It's a natural. So if we are directed, training is given, sensitization
That's
program,
what I wanted to ask.
sensitization program for everyone, so that we are able to pick the cues which you mentioned. You're able to notice. So what are quick checkups?
There are some non-verbal cues, there are some micro expressions which
So
actually
how
go
will you
through.
do that? My question is that.
Yeah, there needs to be a training even for the
So-
educators to get sensitized over this.
Yeah. So in that particular case, the judgment, if you have read, I would appeal to everyone, mostly who are in education sector, whether in school, college or university, please read this case thoroughly and you will get the insight how our students have suffered. It's the suffering of the students which is highlighted in the case so brutally, I can't tell you. And the judgment is such that will touch everyone, you know, touch in the sense that it will make you feel that yes, something has to be done immediately for our youth and students studying in the various universities. See, I think in one day nothing can be done, but at least process has started in various universities now, that people have become more I think sensitive
Sensitized.
to the issues of students. We have to balance academic with well-being. We can't just force academics and then well-being is taking
A backseat.
toll or a backseat. Why it is happening? We have to question this. We have to understand this. We have to also involve and integrate parents. So if you ask me, it should be integrative model of mental health work at university and at schools. One psychologist, poor counselors can't do anything. Everybody is to be involved in that. I'm not saying that everybody should just give their advice. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that integrated effort means if there is a faculty mentor. UGC already has advised that we need to have faculty mentor, and many universities I know, and I have also practiced as a part of faculty, if you ask me, that we used to have 10, 15 students for guidance. So how we are guiding them? In 10, 15 at least I can see that who are not doing well and what kind of help they require. It's only understanding their mental level and mental makeup at that time, that what kind of issues they're going through. They need a person to listen.
Right. Mom,
And
I
if
think
you
that
listen,
capacity has really reduced.
because there are other stressors in life of
Right.
people.
For example, आप आएं और आप मुझसे कुछ share करना चाहें, and what I do, so you say that I'm really stressed about this, and the other person starts bragging, अच्छा तुमको इतना stress है, मुझे और ज़्यादा stress है life में. So I think we need to be more open and patient, and we have to be good listeners to understand these things. And there is one more thing I want you to tell the audience, that why this happens. Like the motivation, the dreams suddenly quit and they take a back seat, and the person feels that I don't want to do this anymore.
See, I think if you see the data and the news which has been flooded past few months and days,
Right.
that good institutions, students, they are taking this decision to take their life, you know. Do you think that's what the education system is for? So
That's actually sad.
so
Yeah.
that's why the National Task Force is. That if students are coming to the institution for their dream, as you mentioned, and their dream is shattered. Why? Because of this system structure which we have made. What is bothering students? We need to understand that. So Supreme Court directives has given direction to universities to do a survey, which is already, I think, everywhere it has the information has reached. We are also doing. We have to answer those questions, these surveys, for students, for faculty, for institution heads, for parents. I don't know how many of you are aware. It is happening. The compiled report will come to us. Based on that, the directives, then there will be policy making for mental health, so that we are able to sustain mental health work in a very, very scientific manner and practical manner.
That's what is
what
important.
is to be done, you know, in every institution and every college or universities. Where is the problem is that everybody thinks, what I have experienced in my career as a academician, that it is understood that this job is of psychologist.
Right.
But let me tell you, this job is for everyone in the university setup. If the student has entered the gate of your university, it is up to you to take care of him. His physical health, his mental health, his academic health, His holistic health is in your hand. What kind of ecosystem we have made in the university? It is facilitative or it is restrictive, it is obstruct, it is creating obstacles.
Obstruction.
So, this we need to review for ourselves. If we are able to do that, where the hurdle is, if students are happily coming and talking to you, they are not fear of they are getting marks deducted. That happens.
True.
There are many cases like that.
Yes.
So, they will come and
they
talk to
just
you.
fear this out, that if we share this to maybe higher authorities or maybe somebody in the hierarchy itself, then the marks will get deducted, or that particular educator will create that.
So, what is the step we are taking as an administrator in university system? How often we are meeting students as administrator, the deans, the heads, and faculty mentor. Particularly, they are the custodian of 20 or 30 students of a class, not only for their growth in their particular discipline, but also overall growth.
Right, even they.
So, the overall growth includes your mental health as well. Why we discard mental health? My question to you, you are a faculty.
Ma'am, I don't think so that there is discardation of mental health or something like this. But I think there is some desensitized manners in which we react. For example, if the student is coming with a relationship issue or something, so they might, you know, just demean it and say कि तुम अभी बच्चे हो, तुम्हें कुछ समझ नहीं है. But actually वहीं पे वो चीज़ शुरू होती है जहाँ पे वो जानना चाहते हैं कि how we want to take up the relationships in life and what kind of person should we deal with. Even the smallest of the things that, you know, communicating to their parents itself कि हमें अगर problem है तो डांट नहीं पड़ेगी, rather समझा जाएगा. So I think that's the basic practical implication which we need to start, rather than talking about maybe bigger things like surveys and maybe the system and following the hierarchies and creating it in scientific manners. As facilitators and educators, I feel that we should start the work at a very basic level, that communicating with our students, making them feel that we are open and they could come to us and they could communicate and they could share. And rather, I'm not only the educator or facilitator, rather, I'm their friend. And they could really come and share, and there will be no judgments and bias from my side, rather an open arm discussion that okay, you can do this, and always giving them options. Because when we tell them ना कि तुम्हें ये करना चाहिए, तो आई थिंक दे फील लाइक कि अगर मैंने इसके अलावा कुछ किया तो शायद मैम को अच्छा नहीं लगे या मेरे पेरेंट्स को अच्छा नहीं लगे, एंड दे गेट प्रिटी अनॉयड, और या फिर वो गलत कदम उठा लेते हैं उस चीज को लेके.
पहले ये भी बात समझना होगा डॉक्टर प्रेरणा दैट यू आर नॉट फ्रेंड. If you are a friend of a student, then again there should be a boundary which student understand, this is the boundary of my teacher, you know. But yeah, as a faculty we also need to see that
that the boundary should be maintained,
and yet you are able to interact with your students freely and firmly, you know.
True.
Freely but firmly, not strictly, I am saying.
Yeah.
Freely but firmly.
They should understand that there is a balance of both.
Yeah. So those students will respect you more because they know that they will get some kind of guidance and also solution for their problems, and further how they need to go to the next level, you know. It's also for your academia. It's not only for the mental health problems or personal problems, but also for their professional growth or academic growth. They same thing happens, you know. You can't give everything to student, you just guide them, you know. Go and refer to this book, refer to this research, and then this is what is for everything. If you just let them grow in that path of the journey of their life, that will
they should carve their path,
Yeah.
rather than we directing
So
them
you
that this
just
is the path.
open the path, but they have to walk on the path, and maybe they can find many paths in that process. That's our job as a teacher, as a facilitator. And coming with the new technology and innovations which is happening in technological advancement, AI and DeepSeek, I think we all are flooded with so many latest with students are using it today. So if you have to be as a teacher, when we have to be resourceful to our students, we need to go to the next level. that also a lot of training is required and advanced
We need
training.
to learn a
Yeah,
lot.
and to understand and relate with student with their needs and give them kind of guidance and facilitation so that they are able to walk on the ethical paths. And in academia, if you see, technology will do everything. I'm sorry, I don't agree with this. Our bond and connection is required with students. If we want to have a healthy mental health of students, and that will facilitate their overall growth and happiness in their life. And there is a high correlation between mental health and happiness if you see the researchers, you know. So nowadays happiness is also discussed,
Right.
because why? Because we are seeing that because of mental health the happiness index is going down. So obviously every university is having now happiness center, you know. But don't you think it is the goal of everybody's life is to be happy? But there are many processes to it. What makes you happy will not make me happy, you know.
True.
So
My
eh,
happiness could come from a very
yeah.
different place.
So how will you do that in the campus, you know? So that's very important to look at. So this importance of mental health, national task force, directives, we will only follow if we believe in it, you know. And if we believe in it,
We can do it.
we can do it, we'll achieve it.